We've got some.
Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
We spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit. And today, we're bringing them to you so you can take action immediately and start creating real content momentum.
If you'd like to learn more about how to turn your content into profit, go to contentisprofit.com. Oh, yeah.
Guys, today, how to grow a business that sustains your lifestyle.
Especially when this lifestyle is like traveling all over the world, I feel like.
It's going to be exciting. I know I'm excited because that was one of the reasons we started the company. It's because we could have that freedom of location and be able to go anywhere. So,
or buy the stuff that we want to buy.
I can't wait to dive in.
Dive in. All right, guys, before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button and follow us on social media at BIZBROS Go everywhere.
That is right. And if you find this episode impactful, which I am sure you will, don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review.
Hi guys, so today's guest came from another recommendation from the one and only Alex Taylor. We were actually scrolling through his Instagram today, and let me tell you, it seems like he is living the life every travelpreneur wants to have.
That's right. This guy spends his days traveling, surfing, just adventuring the world, all while running a profitable business. I don't know about you, but I'm curious to learn how he does it all.
Today's guest owns a video editing company that has allowed him to go from broke to not broke and traveling the world in search of adventures. That is a very important transition from broke to not broke. I love it.
It is a key transition.
A key. He has never settled for comfort and what everyone else was doing. And guys, you should not settle for comfort either.
That's right. Comfort, biggest enemy right there. And guys, please welcome owner of Edit Lab. I'm gonna pronounce that right. Sorry, my Hispanic accent came out in there. Yes. Owner of Edit Lab, world traveler, and the Costa Rican Kelly Slater. That's what words in the street is saying. Costa Rican Kelly Slater. Guys, Christian Schwagereit! We just butchered his last name, guys. We're gonna have him pronounce it because it's a German one.
Christian, brother, welcome to the show, man. We're extremely excited to have you. Happy Monday.
Same here.
Christian, okay. please. How do we pronounce your last name? Because I just destroyed it. Literally.
Totally destroyed it. Yeah.
Schwagereit.
There we go. Schwagereit. Yeah,
right, perfect.
We need a few rounds of practice for that.
Man, dude, Christian. Again, completely honored. Again, you came recommended by Alex, and just that fact, you're up and above in that list of guests that we have, and we can't wait to dive into what you do, especially on the business side, but also like how were you able to achieve this amazing lifestyle that you do, doing what you love, not only for your business but also in your life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super interested. Can't wait to dive in.
Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. And it's the second podcast I've been on. I was on a friend's podcast once. So, I love talking about business. I love meeting new people and chatting with you guys. We had a little chance to talk on the phone before Luis, but I guess this is a real conversation. So
yeah, this is a real one.
Yeah, this is no difference than, being at the beach with a bonfire and talking. It's just, we just got a few cameras and the mics, but the conversation's still the same.
Yeah. Dude, Christian,
I love it. I think that's the best like podcast format. I love just listening, and it's great to do it while you're like working or something. So it's great.
Perfect, dude. So who's Christian? For the audience that don't know you, who are you? How did it this entrepreneurial world or journey started, and what do you do now?
Yeah, well, I'm Chris. Already said that 100 times. I've been traveling for 8 years now, pretty much. Wow. Since I was 17, since I left high school, I started traveling, and I was always a terrible student. Every teacher I had hated me except for one or two. Those were the cool ones. And just never really wanted to do the 9-to-5 thing, the job thing. I did it for one company for 2 months. I suck at it. I got fired immediately. So that was funny. And yeah, just trying to live that balance between working, making it happen, making money, and having fun at the same time.
Yeah.
Why would I do any of this if I can have fun along the way? So yeah,
That's true. Yeah, I feel that's interesting. You know, I feel like a lot of people start something to be able to have fun, right? But then they get consumed by it, and then they forget the fun part, and it's just doing. I mean, I feel like we've certainly been there in certain moments. It's like by seasons. But I'm not gonna lie. You know, I would love to eventually do the world traveling thing. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So
yeah. Well,
go ahead. Sorry, Christian. Go ahead.
Sorry, go on. No, I was gonna say it's totally sustainable and it's not that expensive, and especially if you have a remote team, then which I think you guys do, right? You guys all pretty much have a remote team, or do you guys have an office?
Both of them. So yeah, in the office, like it's literally us, but the team is all remote.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's cool. That's great, and especially with these kind of businesses where you do client work. You could say it's kind of like having a job, because every client you have is like another boss, right? So you have like 20 different bosses, but it's great, right? We can do this even from home or from your own office, and you don't have to be working with 20 other people in the same place, have a cubicle and all that. So it's great.
Yeah. I love it. I love the part of the story that you tell, like, hey, I was not really good in school, and then I went for a job and got fired right away. And for some people, right, they might take that as something really, really negative. And I don't know you, Fonzie, but me growing up too, like I never got fired, but I always felt like that was not the place I needed to be, right? I was like, okay, I need to stick it out. Is this the way? Or even at school, right? Like maybe I was not enjoying it as much, but I always had that bug. And what I found like very interesting is that you immediately recognize that, you took ownership of that, and you're like, you know what, let me build something on my own and adapt it to the way that I want to live, the results that I want to have. And now clearly you've been working with some amazing companies and creating the business that you really want to have. Even though you say you have like 20 bosses, but at the end of the day, it's your framework and what you do. So thank you for bringing that point home.
At the same time, they're all great. All my clients, they're amazing. Kind of what we do in our business is get it to the point where it doesn't feel like they are our bosses, because they're not really that involved. We pretty much take it all off their plate as far as the whole video side. So I guess I say it that way because it's you're working for other people, pretty much doing the service for them. But it's great. They're all super flexible and they're awesome. And how many jobs did you guys have before starting your own thing?
Oh man.
Well, me, I like official job, just two, and one, a waiter, and then the other one was as a franchise. I was the after my brother, I was the director of the franchise, and we used to coach kids, 2 to 6 year olds, how to play soccer. I did that for about 3 years, and then I was like, well, thank you for all the patience that I learned, but if I eventually want to have kids, I need to leave this place right now. So that was the end of it.
We mentioned it before, but we're from Venezuela. So back home, I did have a couple of jobs. I started with an internship with Red Bull, which was amazing, right? I kind of landed
That's awesome.
in that company.
Red Bull's such a cool company.
Great. I had such a fan of the brand. And then evolving to a marketing role. But then coming to the States, right, we became a soccer player. So we had a scholarship. So I consider that a job. And inside of college, I probably had 5 to 7 different jobs. And then outside of it, going to the soccer franchise, then we coached too, and then we did in the fitness industry. So yeah, a ton. We've been around for a little bit. But again, I feel. Thank you for that question, because in each one of them, I feel like it was part of a path for a greater thing, which turns out to be our own thing, right? Our own company and the thing that we're.
Even in our own business, we have transitioned so many times. We started actually as a sticker company, just to put it that way, right?
and now we do podcasts.
Yeah,
dude. So
you have to do stuff to like figure out like what is it you want to do, and I don't even know. I love my business now, and I think it's great, and I really enjoy it, and I enjoy all the struggles that come with it and all the wins. And every time you close a new client, it's super exciting. And every time you maybe miss a deadline and we couldn't get this video to someone on time, then it's like, oh, bummer. I wish we could have done a better job. And that's just all part of it. But yeah, you just have to do stuff to figure out what it is you really want to do. I doubt, I think very few people get it right the first time. So it's just part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Can I go in off that question? You know, like you said at 17, you started, you know, traveling, and that's when you wanted to do your thing. Did you do anything else, or did you immediately started with video editing?
No. So I initially wanted, or when I thought I was going to go to school, I did go to school. I did go to college. I was studying economics. So I did, I think, 2 semesters of that. I had in those 2 semesters, I had to pass, I think, 12 or 14 courses. I passed 2. So then I was like, I don't really know if this is for me. It's kind of boring. And then I got to figure something out. I got to find a way to make money. And then I kind of took over my grandparents' business for a little bit. That didn't go right because it was already in a bad place, and I kind of had to take it out of there, and I had no business experience. I thought I could do it, but kind of the circumstances just led me to have to do it. And then I was like, no, dang it. And so through that, I met a guy, an Indian businessman. His name was Rakesh. He was a cool guy. And that's how I started traveling. Through him, I just moved to Germany, started working for him, doing all kinds of stuff. Then I moved to Latvia, small country in northeastern Europe, the Baltics, super awesome people there. And I was just doing like this more corporate kind of stuff, which I guess I had 2 jobs then, but there was so much traveling involved in that I didn't really see it as a job. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I moved back to Costa Rica. I had this normal job, boring job. And then I just started kind of doing my own things. I bought a drone. That's how I got into video work. And, before drones were cool, I guess. And just started doing that. And then I was like, I got to learn to use a camera. And then I started working for this online marketing company as a videographer. That's kind of how I officially got into video work. And then did that for a while. And then my friend that used to be an affiliate for this company hired me, and then I moved to Miami for him. His name's Steven, great guy, awesome dude. And then I lived in Miami for a year. That was really cool. Doing videos, creating online courses, doing all this other sort of stuff. And it all kind of led to this place because I learned some marketing there. I was already doing the video stuff, and then it all kind of meshed together. And so I just started doing video work. That's basically how I got into it.
Dude,
that's awesome.
What I hear in this story is that you did whatever it takes. You literally did whatever it took, to get to your dream scenario. And I feel like maybe the image of your dream scenario was not clear 100% of the time, but you knew that that was the general direction that you wanted to go, and you were like, opportunities were presented and you took them. And sometimes we talk with a lot of businesses, maybe established businesses or people wanting to get get started in this entrepreneurship / content / things, right? And they feel like they need to have a clear path. I feel like they need to have a clear direction, like you just said, like, hey, I want to go there, but if it takes me 20 turns, it's okay. You went, to Germany, to Latvia, back to Costa Rica, then to Miami, different kind of jobs, trying different things. And at the end of the day, it led you to, you started to create your own reality, right? Which is amazing.
Yeah, nobody's path is going to be a straight line from point A to point B,
for sure.
Especially in a world.
Well, and it's funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, it's funny because I did the video work, then I completely stopped doing it because at some point, pretty much, we kind of all the people I was working for, some things didn't work out. Then I worked for someone else. That whole thing ended up completely breaking. And after Miami, I pretty much had nothing again because I was working there for my friend. That whole thing went south. And then I was back in Costa Rica, and I pretty much didn't have anything to do. I didn't have anyone to work for. I had saved no money because living in Miami is so damn expensive. So I had zero money pretty much. And then I came to Colombia working for some friends, being their assistant pretty much, which was funny. And then I kind of got back into video. So it just all it was such a crazy loop. But what you say is totally true. I mean, it's never a straight line. And I'm sure you guys can relate. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, or with videos, actually pretty similar, we started a social media marketing agency after the sticker and t-shirt, all that stuff. And dude, this is how bad we were. Like, first we had no camera. We would go into the restaurants, take pictures with our phone. Like, don't worry. And then eventually got a camera. We would take pictures. And this was my thought process at the moment. I would take a picture and then look at somebody else's on Instagram, and I'll be like, why this one has like so many colors and mine is like so flat, right? I had no idea you could edit pictures in like Photoshop or Lightroom, whatever. It was terrible. So, and I did that for months. It's like taking pictures like that. And then eventually I discovered that you could edit. And after a while, we were like, okay, let's not do video anymore. And we decided to do more on like the sales funnel side of things. And I mean, now it turned around and we don't do the recording of the video per se, right? But we take care of like the repurposing of long form content.
Yeah, but again, full circle around content, right? Everything started with content and go around. And you know, for those listening, don't get discouraged because like the experience that you're living now, just like Christian was saying, is what's gonna prepare you for what's coming. You know, FONZI started editing the pictures, and you know that opened so many doors with local businesses. Just I'm sure like Christian too with the video editing, right? I'm sure those relationships are still there, but it was just a step in the right direction, like we mentioned earlier. So go ahead, try to go full in, invest, learn those skills, and go back. Because guess what? Then if you get to hire somebody. Or somebody on your team, you know exactly how to do that task, and you know exactly what you're gonna delegate. So there's so many like layers of these things that you can actually, you know, get a win out of those situations. Now, Christian, what were some of the challenges, you know, through all that winding, you know, your crazy road to what you do now? Like, was there like a big challenge that you were like, man, like that's it, I'm giving up, like I'm going back to Costa Rica to something safe, and then. How were you able to overcome that?
Man, pretty much everything is a challenge, especially when you're starting a business, right? No one's born as Elon Musk, so everything you kind of figure out along the way. Initially, when I started doing video work, this job I had applied for this online marketing company, I had no idea how to. I had a drone, right? I could fly a drone. I had no idea how to edit videos. I had no idea how to use a camera. I had no idea with nothing. I had a GoPro also. Yeah. And so when I got this guy told me about this job, and I was like, I'd love to do this, but I have no idea how to do any of this. So I borrowed my friend's camera. I had the GoPro, I had the drone. I went to the job interview. The job interview was to make a video. So without knowing anything, I just went, filmed. I had watched 2 tutorials on YouTube on how to use Adobe Premiere before that. And so I'm there, and you had to do everything at the place, right? So you had to film, you had to edit the video right there, and then give it to the guy. And my video, I don't think it was great. I don't think it was terrible. I spent, every time I didn't have anything to do, I spent so much time on YouTube that I guess I kind of got a feel for how to film and how to make things look kind of good. So when I was there, I don't think my video was the best out of all the people that were there. But I had taken my GoPro, and they were building this hotel where you had to like do the job application pretty much. And they're still building it. So I gave my GoPro with a mouth mount to the guy that was driving the tractor. So you could like see him like drive the tractor from like his point of view, and I put that in the video, and I think that's what kind of sold the guy. I guess I was kind of creative there, but at the same point, I had no idea what I was doing, so I was like, oh, I'll just probably give this to this guy, and he'll just put it in his mouth, and he'll look cool, I think. Right, and so like while being there, I was kind of figuring things out. So for sure, everything was a challenge along the way. You know, I didn't know how to do anything at any point until I actually knew how to do it by doing it in practice. And I think my biggest challenge, honestly, and that's still a challenge, and the thing that I learned from Alex, the thing Alex really taught me, and that now I feel really a lot more confident in doing than before, is finding clients. Yeah. So how do you find the clients, and how do you sell the clients? I never knew about phone sales. I never knew that you would like hop in a call and then you try to convince this person to give you money to do this thing, right? And that always felt like a challenge. And that's why I always never felt like I could be the number one in a business. And I told that when I started working for Alex, I was like, I think I'm a good number two. Like I think I can take care of operations, of dealing with day-to-day things. Yeah. I think I'm smart enough to where I can figure most things out, like within that operation, right? Yeah. But I never knew like how do you find clients? How do you get people to pay you money? And that's what I learned from Alex. You know, he crushes it that hard. Yeah. He knows advertising. He's a killer salesman, and just by being in that environment, I was like, oh wow, this is not that hard. You run ads, you get leads, and 90% of the people won't be interested, or they won't have the budget, or they won't this or that. But then that 10% is what all you need to run a profitable business. So that's it. No.
Yeah, that I love that, you know, and I love how you stated that pretty much everything is a challenge, and it is actually, you know, and Especially as a business owner, they're gonna come every single day at every single minute, and you gotta deal with them. If you start thinking about it like in a negative way, man, you'll never get out of that hole, right? And something that you mentioned that I really like is at some point you said kind of like that you didn't know anything. What was next? Kind of like the next step, right? And I remember listening to this podcast once, and they were
to continuous profit.
It wasn't continuous profit, but they were interviewing this guy called Phil Jones, right? He's a salesman. He's a huge salesman in the UK. And he was saying that for him, kind of like a moment of clarity was when he realized that nobody actually knew anything. He says like people in the biggest positions is like sometimes they don't even know what they're doing, right? But the difference is that they take action and they figure it out, just like you said, right? Like you're pretty good at figuring things out and here and there. Honestly, I think that phrase describes our business journey as well. It's like, how do we do this? All right. And then we turn around and we figure it out and we just do it.
I think too, I love the fact that you took that risk and you're like, hey, I kind of saw something on YouTube. Like I dove in, I learned as much as I could. I guess sponge, I absorb all that information, then I execute it. And the fact that, you gave that GoPro to that guy and just being a little bit creative, like just different. And again, guys, it's not better. It's about different. It's about the positioning that you do with your company. And you took that and then you just mentioned that was the element that you thought is sold this guy. And then after that, you just get brushing up on those skills. And I think it was like Penjun that said that it's like from 0 to 1 million is how many times you say yes to opportunities, right? And sometimes we're not 100% sure on how to execute on those opportunities, but they're gonna take you on a path where you can learn and improve and then delegate to other people. And then after that million is how many times you can say no because you already know what you're good at as a company, and then you can replicate that. So I think like that story describes perfectly because you were saying yes to all these opportunities, and then you're like, oh man, like I became really good at this, which is the video editing side of things, and then that was like your path from now on. Now you're like on the sales side, like I gotta learn all these new skills on this new stage in my life, dude. So I just find it's wonderful. We can see like all these elements on your story kind of building up.
I mean, for those listening right now, take a look back at your life because I'm sure you're gonna relate to a lot of these things that Christian is sharing here with us. Because as you're mentioning it, I'm like pretty much like remembering our own story, and I'm like, wow, like there's so many of these points that we've actually lived, and I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs' journey is like that too. Like it is very similar, and I think in a way that's why we're able to connect also good. And then when we're like sharing stories with each other.
Dude, Christian, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that actually, funny enough, some of the things that I never thought would be a challenge are a big challenge right now, like hiring. Hiring as a business owner, man, holy crap, it's so hard to find good people. It's I think it actually was easier to learn how to make money and sell clients and close leads than to find good people. Right now we're trying to hire a project manager / videographer, and it's crazy because initially I was trying to find an editor. That was a pain in the ass. It was really hard. Found him. He was great. His name is Ian. He's from the Philippines. He's one of our editors right now. Great guy, awesome dude, really crushes it. He was my first editor. And now I'm trying to find a project manager, but Ian is remote. For him, it was just like, hey, you just got to edit. Right now, we're trying to find someone who will actually travel with us. So our pitch is, hey, we'll pay you. You get to travel for free, live for free. You get to have a private chef because we always try to have we try to live in countries where we can afford to have someone cook for us and take care of all the things that we don't really want to deal with, so we can focus more on business and on the things we want to do for fun. And I've been looking for months, man. I can't find anyone. So we're right now. We have a couple guys that are interested, and we're hopefully going to hire someone this coming week. But I never thought hiring people would be this hard, and it's been a real challenge. So it's funny, right? Like things that I never thought would be a challenge are actually a challenge.
Exactly.
So. That's crazy. What we're gonna do? We're gonna chop this clip right here, and we're gonna put it. We're gonna share it everywhere and be like, "Hey guys, look what you get with
That'd
this
be
job,
awesome.
you know, and then we'll send them your way to see if you get some people.
Hey, and if you're listening now, you know, let us know in the comments. Send us a quick DM at BIZBROS, and we'll definitely refer you to Christian.
I'm just throwing this out there. If it wasn't because we have our own business, dude, I'll be already applying for the job, traveling and food. You sold me already.
Ready to go. Dude, Christian, you mentioned something really interesting, right? Like when I want to transition a little bit on the sales side, because, you know, part of the show is like, hey, how do you get that frictionless sale, right? And you say, well, Alex is a genius at this. And yes, we agreed 100% after we chatted with him. But you said something really important. You said, it's about, you know, those leads, the conversations that you're having with those leads, and then being okay with 90% of those saying no. And that's such a value bomb right there, because a lot of people think, like on these online games especially, right, brick and mortars, people are getting started. It's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna throw this Facebook ad out there, or I'm gonna throw this video out there, and then everybody is gonna come buy from me, and then it flops. That's the consistent thing. So like through that journey, like you guys dealing with like all these leads, especially now you and your with your agency and your business, how, like, why was that so important to understand? And then what are you doing to actually get those people to buy from you and keep them as clients?
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So it's, if you want to start your own business and you want to make sales, and unless it's, but even if, say you have a tech type business where you're offering, or a SaaS company, even then, like, most people won't actually buy from you, and you just have to accept that, right? So initially when I started the business, it was all referral based. So my first clients were all referrals. It all worked out, right? Got those clients. Referral, I think, in my opinion, is the best way to do business. But it's also not fully sustainable to just do that. And so then when I was working for Alex, I figured out, oh, he's spending X amount per month on advertising. And from all those dozens and dozens of leads he gets, very few people buy, right? If you take it in context from, say, how many people see the ads to how many people actually become clients, very few of them are, right? So I was like, I was scared of running ads because I didn't know how much money, or I thought I would have to spend all this money to get leads. But then, and you just do it, right? Then you spend $500 on ads per month, and you get 50 people to see your ad, 20 people to book a call, or even less, maybe 5 people to book a call. And out of those 5, all 5 say no, and you're like, dang it, I just spent $500, made zero money out of this. Right? And then you start testing new stuff. And mind you, again, I'm not running ads. Derek was running our Derek before already. You already had an episode with him. And now our ads guy in Funnel Empire, Gerben, is running our ads for Edit Lab also, just crushing it there, doing a great job. And yeah, you just have to, when you're trying to do advertising, you just have to test. You just have to see to make money, right? That's a risk you're going to. And if you have a good ads guy, you should feel confident that it might cost you some money to test and to get that right audience for you. Yeah. Even now, we're still getting a lot of clients from the ads we're running. I still don't think we're at the right place, and we'll have certain ads that do really well for a little bit, and then they run out of juice, right? They just stop working because people have seen them too much, and then we have to test new stuff and money again without getting any leads. And then we'll hit that period of where we get leads. Those leads cover for all the ad spend and more to, of course, make profit, pay our employees, get more money for more advertising, use better software, hire better people, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a process. There's no magic pill to getting clients. It's just, you have to do it this way.
Love it.
I love the obviously that, and we talk it with Derek, right? It's investment approach to it. A lot of people see it as just as a cost, as an expense, right? It's like, oh no, I'm wasting this money, right? No, you're investing it, and if it doesn't give you results at first, you're investing it in learning what not to do, right? Like, okay, I'm not gonna do this, and let me try another thing, or let me do more of this. So I think that shift in mindset is necessary.
Yeah, Christian. So
well, and what do you guys do, right? Like you offer another method of getting clients, right? So you're, hey, you hop on this one podcast, or you have this one longer form interview type thing. How can you repurpose this? But at the same time, I feel like a mix of both, right? So you guys pretty much create something for clients that they can either use for unpaid advertising or for paid advertising, right? So I think a mix of those is a really good point where, say, a person comes to you as a client, you guys take this one interview they made or this one podcast they were on, and you turn it into all these really good clips that they can then use for paid advertising and get clients that way. For example, Edit Lab, we don't really do any organic marketing. We have a Facebook page and an Instagram profile just so we can run ads with it. Right? So we don't actually do the organic thing, just because we think it's for us a better ROI to simply run ads with that same content that we would put on social. Exactly. So I guess there's no harm to doing the organic thing also. It's great, of course. We just don't do it right now because we also don't have the manpower to now manage social media and do all this other stuff, right?
Yeah,
so
100%. Yeah. I love the fact that we're able to have this conversation because, we feel like for the longest time, organic versus paid, like one or the other. It's okay. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be both, or it could be just like paid ads. That's fine. It's the system that works for your current setup as a business. On the organic side, yes, it is literally building relationships. That's why it's called social, right? And then you have the paid ads where it is a more direct ROI with the stuff that you do. So if your business values more, a kind of like a one-on-one relationship with this community, or is more community based, which at this point we are with our show, right? Versus, hey, I'm providing this service and it's going to help you get from point A to point B, super direct. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Yeah. It's just also trying to learn and identify which business are you at, right? Like where do you fall? So, to your point, 100%. In fact, after chatting with Derek, we both look at each other and we're like, we have to crank the fire, right? But at the same time, is the back end ready? Yeah. Well, we have to understand that that's an investment, and we have to figure out, up to this point, amazing. Just like you said, referrals, great. The community building, we're getting clients organically, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes that has to be done. I
agree. And I think we've mentioned this. I think this is gonna be a challenge point, pretty cool. Yeah. Because we've mentioned in other podcasts, right? We've had other people that talk about Facebook ads too, and I think it's they say you need the basis of organic content, right, to start running, because then some people it's just gonna help you convert better. And I to an extent, I think agree a lot with that point. And for example, you're saying that you guys only have the Facebook page and the Instagram page just to be able to run ads. I'm curious, do you think if you guys had some sort of content strategy to it, your ads would perform better, or maybe you're just okay with how they're performing right now because you know for how long they're gonna stay with you and some other KPIs?
Man, 100%. I think it would do better. I think our ads might do better because there might be more social proof for people actually looking us up. We should be posting stuff that we've done for our clients. Man, there is a million things we should be doing. Yeah. It's just how much manpower do we have right now to do that also? And what's the current ROI? So if I go and start creating content for Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, right now I'm pretty sure it wouldn't do as well as if I just paid for the advertising. But do I think we should be doing it? Should I be looking for someone right now to do it for me, hire an assistant, hire someone to do it for me? 1,000%. But right now it's I'm at that point where I'm trying to find a project manager, an editor. Now thinking about hiring also an assistant, someone that's good, that's going to do that. Man, I just know I can't do it right now. But should that be one of my focuses? For sure. Yeah. But that's the funny thing. It's right, you go back into business and there's always things to do. So sometimes when I take a Sunday off to go ride my dirt bike or something, I'm thinking, dang it, should I be doing this right now, or should I be trying to find someone to hire? Or should I be actually fulfilling some stuff for a client? Or should I be trying to do some manual outreach to find more clients that way? There's always stuff to do. And it's just how do you prioritize it? I guess there's no right formula for it. Yeah. But just in regards to your question, for sure, I think it'd be doing good. And you know what? I should be hiring you guys to do that for me.
we can chat after the show. Yeah. But no, but to your point, Christian, it doesn't does it really matter? You're living the life that you want. You know, we're living the life that we want right now, right? There's so pros and cons, 100%, especially when you own a business. There's different things that you got to see. Like for you, riding your dirt bike is very important. So clearly you do. You know, I have a 1-year-old, so Sunday I'm going to spend it with my 1-year-old. You know, FONZI will eat popcorn and eat ice cream all Sunday because he has no one. No. I'm kidding. FONZI can come with us. It's fine.
Lonely. I am so low.
But you know, at the end of the day, it's like what's working with your business, right?
Yep.
Like we just prioritize. If it's working great, let's keep doing it. And then as we grow, then we can start putting different pieces, and that's okay. And I feel like on the people that are getting started in this online game, either organic, paid, whatever, online business side of things, think that they have to do everything at the same time. We're on a call earlier, a coaching call, and this person, you know, we're going through a content map. We're like, they're starting a podcast, and then from that podcast, they're doing a different strategy of outreach for sales on the back end of the podcast, right? And they're like, should we start a YouTube channel? And I'm like, first off, why? And second, do you have the capacity and resources to start a YouTube channel? The answer is clearly no, because they're making the podcast their first priority. They don't have equipment. They don't have a team member that can start recording. They don't have the tools to edit amazing YouTube entertaining how-to videos, which is what they want to do. So the question is like, do you have that capacity and resources right now to start executing on it? No. Okay, what does it take you to get there? And then we track it. Okay, if the goal 20 grand, so then we can hire somebody to do that. If the answer is yes, then perfect. Let's work towards those 20 grand with the system that we have set up right now. So, you know, to your point, you're doing great. The different phases, and I identify 100% with what you're saying. So thank you for bringing that point home.
I think the two keywords there are focus and capacity, right? Like you said, you don't have the capacity at this moment, even though you would like to do it, right? Maybe in the future. And then focusing, because when you focus on one thing, it builds up that compound interest, and it is going to give you better results. So you have put your focus on, learning how to do the advertisement the right way, so you get these leads, and then you know how many you're going to close in your sales, and that's working for you at this time. So for those listening, is pretty much try to see where you can put your focus and what's your capacity, right? So you don't go all over the place, because we just lose so many opportunities, honestly, when we try to go all over the place. We've lived it.
Yeah. Christian, I want to ask you and transition a little bit on the video side of things. You okay there, Fonz?
Yeah, I was picking up the pen.
Okay. What are some creative uses that you see for video? Because, everybody's like, you got to do video. And for us, our starting video was just doing Facebook Lives. For us, that's what started the fire, ignited everything. But you work with video in a very different way, and very, very great way. And so I want to just walk through, what do you guys do? How do you guys see video fitting in different businesses? What's the purpose of video? Because I'm sure there's a ton of options, but I want to see from you that sees this every single day.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and sorry if you can hear that dog barking there. It's neighbors. Oh, my bad.
It's all good. I'm like, oh, there's a puppy. Yeah, bring him on.
Yeah, I think video is fantastic for any business. I don't see any reason why, as long as it's within someone's capabilities, I don't see why they shouldn't be doing it. And of course, back to the same thing we were just talking about. It's, as long as you can do it, I think you should. If you can't do it, then there's for sure things that are more important that I see in the business, right? And this goes back to the same thing. So it's, should I spend 30 minutes right now or 1 hour looking for clients that I could be calling and selling to, or should I make a video? I think initially the ROI is more important to just go and do those calls. And that's what I learned, right? It's when I used to try to start businesses, and before I knew how to run a business, I was like, I'm first going to do the Facebook page, the Instagram profile. I'm going to make a Twitter for it. I'm going to do this and this and that. And I always ended up not using it because I couldn't handle all those things. I didn't have anyone to do it. So, right. So it all depends on your capabilities. But if you can do it, I think it's great. So some of my clients, for example, they have YouTube channels, right?
Yeah.
They want podcast anyways. They want to chat with cool people, so they do the podcast. Hey, let's do it on video also. Why not? Let's just throw on YouTube. YouTube is probably the highest converting platform as far as as far as if you create an audience there, how likely are they to then convert to customers or to just even view your stuff, right? If maybe you just want to do content and you don't want to sell anything right away.
Yeah.
I think YouTube is the strongest platform in that regard, and that's what a lot of our clients do. So they're like, hey, we want to start getting more leads, getting more clients. We want to educate our client, our lead base or our audience or our clients also.
Yeah.
So we might as well educate them by making videos, and then those same videos will work as marketing, right? Because people will just see them organically on YouTube, and they'll get get interest, right? Because with YouTube, it's funny because people will search for something, and if you know how to use the right keywords, if your content is good, if you're ranking well, then people will watch that video. Like YouTube is one of those few platforms where people go to find information.
Yeah.
So I think that's super powerful, and yeah, again, for a lot of our clients, they're course makers, right? They do online courses for all sorts of different topics. We have some clients that do it for regular professions, so electricians, real estate people, all those kind of professions. They make courses because a lot of these professions, they're required to get educated on this before they can actually do it, right? So say a real estate agent in the States, you have to go and learn it. You have to get X amount of hours of education before you're actually allowed to do it. So man, I see it playing in a lot of ways. Some of my clients are YouTubers, right? So YouTube is their business. They get paid from YouTube to create content and then have YouTube actually put advertisements for other companies on that content.
Yeah.
Right. Some of our clients they just need video ads. So they're like online marketers, this kind of business. So they literally just want us to make video ads for them that are captivating, that are good for getting the best ROI. So man, there's all sorts of ways to make the most out of it.
I love it, and I think we are so passionate about this side of things, like with content in general, is because there's so many options, and there's so much room for everybody to grow and do their own thing, and to be creative, to try things, right? We work, like we mentioned in the past, in the fitness industry, and we're like, dude, like the personality of these coaches, like just like put him on there as your attractive character, and like all these members are gonna love it, and they're gonna come to your gym because of it. And I love because you mentioned there, and maybe like not specifically, but all these companies know where their audience is. So I feel like that's a very strong point, because for them is YouTube, right? But maybe your business is not a fit for YouTube yet, even though we think that everybody should be on YouTube. But at the same time, it's like, where's your immediate audience? Where are you interacting with this audience? Where are you getting your clients from? Like, there's some people that their clientele might not even know what YouTube is, which I find very hard to understand that. Or they have no idea what a podcast is. For us, our audience is straight on podcast, straight on Facebook. That's why we do those two platforms. But I love the fact that your companies and your clients use their content either educational purposes, marketing. There's so many faces to this world, which is amazing.
Yeah, and just kind of like to recap on what you said, it is Google, right, which is YouTube. It is intent based, so people go there wanting to learn something. They're looking for that specific thing. And the other advantage that YouTube has that no other platform has is that once you create a video and you post it in there, you literally have like online real estate, because you can look for something and a video from 5 years ago can pop up and you can still watch it, right? Whether on social media, the disadvantage it is, right, Facebook, Instagram, is that it's a feed, so it just gets lost. The life of a video, the lifespan is really, really short compared to YouTube, right? So honestly, I feel like on a more direct approach, more consistent kind of like content creation strategy, I personally would prefer maybe Facebook if you're like those type of social medias, because then you're being active with your outreach as well, right? Commenting in people, creating these conversations. But on a more passive way, I think YouTube is absolutely amazing, because you can just have your content live there for such a long time. I mean, Marley, she has this video that she created, I don't know how many years ago.
And still ranking,
You still, if you Google how to use Canva, like her video is like number one in the search right there, right? Yeah. And she created this video a few years back, so that's impressive. Yeah.
So
that's super interesting, and I think in that regard, also, it's very doable if you find systems, right? So whether it is, and sometimes it's just outsourcing, you know, if you have the money to do it, say with you guys, right? I'm sure 90% of your clients, 95, 99%, don't want to be doing what you guys are doing for them. So you basically figure out a system to where it becomes doable, and where if you have the money to outsource it, you do it. If you have the smarts to do it through technology, you do it. And this is for anything in business. That's why I started my other company, Systematic. We just basically do business automation. So think, what are these things that I can automate in whichever way that is, whether it's outsourcing, whether it's actually using technology to do it, and how can that save me or make me more time to do these other things, whether that's sales, whether that is creating content, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's great. I mean, what do you like? What do you see with your clients? How many of them actually would do the stuff you're doing for them if they had to do it themselves?
Yeah, no, definitely. And you know, it's cool that you bring that point, because actually one of the analogies that we explain actually what we sell is, yes, you're getting a bunch of repurposed content from your long form videos, right? But more than that, we're selling you the system. Literally, it's like a plug and play. Like, you can grab our system that for them, it would take them, you know, you don't know how long it could take them, because they will have to hire people. They would have to create the process, iterate the process, all these things that is going to take them time and lots of money, when they can just, you know, hey, I need these videos turned into, you know, like 30 pieces of videos. There we go. We got the, you're going to save all that time, right? So it's like you're saying, finding those processes to do it is key. And people can implement those at the time of creating videos and creating content for their own business. Again, I think it goes back to capacity. What's the capacity that your business has at this point, right? If you're not maybe able to hire somebody, and then stick to that capacity and do it consistently.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
Man,
guys,
I think even for life, like systems just make your business happy. They make you happy. Even it's funny now. I always think back to this. In the last house I lived in, there was 2 light switches in the bathroom. So one when you come in, and there's one in the middle of the bathroom, right? Which you can both do the same thing. And when I moved to the house, I would always get so pissed, because I would walk into the bathroom, use the switch inside, and then when I would walk back out, I had to run back into the bathroom to turn the light off, right? That's basically the gist of it. And then I was just like, okay, I'm going to make a system. I'm going to use the outside switch every time I go into the bathroom, and then use the same switch when I leave. And that made me so much happier, man. Now I didn't lose 15 seconds every time I walk back into the bathroom and turn the damn light off. You know?
Yeah.
It's such a small thing.
Yes.
But it just makes things better, you know. And same with like routines in the morning. Wake up, find this routine that works for you, that makes you feel better throughout the day. And it's a system. In the end, it's a system, right? It's, hey, I wake up, I hop right in the shower, I stretch afterwards, I listen to an audiobook, and then for me, like, audiobooks just prime me for the day. If I'm listening to this, like something business related, it just like puts me kind of in that mindset of like, okay, all right, I have to work today, so I'm not doing other stuff while I'm trying to work or just getting distracted. So anyways, I feel like those small things are just, they're great. They're you know, make life and business better.
Dude, I feel, especially someone that is like traveling all over the world, like systems must be a foundation of your life.
Yeah, even while traveling, right? So I have exactly, when I'm going to go somewhere, I have my list of things that I know I have to take with me. So that's a thing that just immediately eases my mind, because now I know I have it written down what I have to take. I know that before I leave, I'm going to check through my suitcase, and I have this, and that. I know where everything goes, and it's not like I'm some crazy Elon Musk type of like OCD personality, because I'm not.
Yeah.
But those small things just make it so much better. Or even I read this book called I forgot the name. I'll remember. And he just says, how do you get mental clarity? You just make a list. So now, instead of trying to remember things you have to do, as soon as you think about them, you write them down somewhere. You have one place where you write them down. I just have a notebook here. Yeah. And then afterwards, when you have the time, you kind of put them in the place they have to go. So say I put it on my to-do list on my computer, or I just do them right away if it's a quick task. But regardless if it's a 30-second thing, I still write it down. because I just have it there. And I know if I look down from my screen to my thing, I know that here's all the things I have to do in my notebook. So I think
I love that. I think with content, I mean, the fact that you're able to do that, you know, you build a company, obviously, you know, what's a company is a group of systems that are working together towards a common result, right? And the fact that, you know, we're mentioning the other day, in 4 months, just our podcast published about 650 pieces, right? And that was impossible for us a year ago because we didn't have the system to support that, right? And this is like with a team of 3, like implementing on that single strategy, and it's because the systems are in place to get to that desired outcome. So I love that, you know, it's going full circle. And if you're listening right now or watching and you might not have the resources to get there, establish your own system. Start small. Okay, I want, you know, this quality, I want this type of video. Okay, perfect. What are the elements that go inside of that type of video? If I want 20 assets, okay, how do I build those 20 assets? How can I make it that I can repeat it every single time? If you're recording a podcast, what's the list of items that you need to take care of before doing a podcast? We have the same thing. Before we do the show, we have the pre-show. You know, FONZI do some push-ups. I put some music. I drink some coffee. You know, we turn on the machine. We put the memory card in the machine. You know, those are the list of things that, you know, they take mental capacity. So by writing them in a list, like you said, and then we can go ahead and execute with ease and very quickly.
Is the point that you said, right? It gives you mental clarity. Like every time we have to think about how we're gonna do things, it just takes energy away from us that we could be using more effectively to do some other tasks that we're gonna do during the day, right? And dude, I always eat the same thing for breakfast every single time.
Yeah.
The reason being is so I don't have to get up and think like, what am I going to have for breakfast? No, dude, 3 eggs, 2 slices of bread, and an avocado. That's it. That's what I'm going to eat every single day for breakfast. And it brings me peace of mind because then I'm not struggling and I'm not starting the day with the wrong food, you know, like losing all that energy. So I think it's a super important point.
Yeah. And what your brother said before, I think was super interesting is, if you don't have the resources, then create your own systems. And I think that ties into itself because systems create resources. So for example, one of our clients in Austin, they were kind of struggling. They wanted to work with us, but they were unsure if they could create all the content they wanted to actually create. So I asked them, what's your biggest roadblock, or the biggest thing that's impeding you from actually making these videos? And so they were right away the tech side of like setting up the camera and that, right? So I just told them right away, do you have one room that's a quarter empty? And they're like, yeah, we have like 3 rooms in our office that we don't use. And I'm like, set up the camera on a tripod. I'll walk you through it. We'll hop on a FaceTime call and I'll walk you through how to set it up. Put tape on the floor where the tripod legs go. Put tape on the arm of the tripod as to how high it has to go. Put tape on the camera lens as to where the focus point is, and then leave the camera there. And if you have to move it, you have all the tape on the floor so you know how to put it back. And if you don't have to move it, just leave it there. And man, by a week later, we couldn't handle the videos they were sending us because they were making so many. Because it was so easy. Now all they have to do instead of setting all this stuff up is sit down and click record and just talk to the camera. Yeah. And of course, they know what they're doing. They're lawyers. They know their field because they're professionals in that.
Yeah.
And now making videos is so easy. All they have to do is talk to the camera. Sit down, click record, talk to the camera. Easy. And it looks great because we made it look good from the beginning. So now they're not, you know, sitting there for half an hour filming a video and then it's like, oh, dang it was out of focus. Yeah. Or, oh, the camera was in the wrong setting or this or that. It's become so much easier and it's a system. It's a system.
Dude,
yeah.
I love
think that's
it.
Fantastic.
I love it. And I can't wait to see that part of your business that you're doing now because so many people need it. And especially, you know, that call that we had earlier too, we talked all about the system on not only doing the podcast, but how do we talk to the client on the back end to make sure that is a conversation that helps the business move forward. So, and it's all a checklist, like you said. So, amazing.
That story with the camera reminded me so we actually attempted to start this podcast over a year ago.
Oh man!
And dude, we set up everything in my room. So my room had like a bunch of tapes on the ground where the trapper would go and all the stuff, dude. And then, I mean, my girlfriend at the time, she got scared, you know, because she would get into the room and there was tape everywhere, cameras and tripods and lights.
It's a murder scene.
She's like, hey, what are you guys doing here? What are you guys filming here? I was like, it's okay.
It's
a
not
podcast."
porn, I promise. Yeah, it's not porn.
Yeah, but man, but it is true. Like made our life so much easier because then we were like, I mean, the setup would go from maybe 20 to 30 minutes, putting the lights, the cameras, everything, to a quick 5 minutes.
Nothing.
You say, boom, you put it there, and that's it.
And there we go, dude.
Yeah, and freaking do as I say, not as I do, because I should be filming 5 times the amount of ads that I'm doing right now. I think I haven't shot a new ad in 3 months, and our ads are already not doing as good as they should be, and I'm losing money every day because I myself, I tell my clients to do this, but I don't have a camera set up right now where I can just start recording an ad really quick, even though sometimes I think of something and I'm like, I wish I had a camera set up right now so I could just click record and record this ad, but I don't do it myself. So no, I'm behind on that.
Wait. I love that you bring that point up because it is removing that friction, right? The fact that because it has happened to me as well. I'm like, dude, this idea would be amazing to write it down or whatever. And I don't have anything to write down at the moment. And I'm like, so much friction to get it started. I'm just gonna do it later, right?
Yeah.
And then we postpone it. We don't get it done. So yeah, pretty much like setting yourself. They're just helping you set yourself up for success. That's it.
Love it. Dude, Christian, this has been a wonderful conversation. We're landing the plane here on the show. We have a couple more questions for you. One, it's what's a quick action point for people starting, with their content, with their videos, with their processes even, now that the last part of the conversation was going to that side of things. What is something that they can do today that is going to move them forward?
All right, 2 things. In one, what we just said, make it easy for yourself to make these videos, to make this marketing content, to shoot these ads, to record this podcast, to do whatever it is that you want to do content-wise, whether it's video, photo, whatever it is. Just make it easy for yourself. Don't make it a struggle to do something you have to do, and that's easily not a struggle.
Yeah.
And then hire us to do your videos, because editing videos is a pain in the ass. And we make it really easy for you. So
that's right,
or
guys.
hire you guys too.
Yeah, that is
edit all this micro content.
That is editlab.io. editlab.io. Go check them out, guys.
Go check him out for sure. Dude, Christian, this has been an absolute pleasure. The last big question here is, where will you be without any content?
Where our business wouldn't exist, because that's what we do. And even whether it is, and I think when people hear content, they just think organic. But whether that's a piece of ad copy, whether it's a headline on your website, whether it's an explainer video to show someone how your product works, whether it is even a voice recording you send to a client explaining him how to do this or that. It's content is modern business. It's the world we live in. So you need it. Make sure you're creating it to the extent that it is useful and it is an asset for you. And man, it's content is profit.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Mic drop.
That's the ad right there. That's it.
That's true.
Dude, thank you, Christian, man. How can people find you? I know FONZI dropped the website, but how can we get in contact with you if they're interested in checking your work and working with you?
Man, editlab.io, that's our website. You're welcome to hop in there, schedule a call with me directly or with my business partner, Alex. We'll see if we're a right fit for you, if you're a right fit for us, and if you are, then we'd love to work for you. If you guys are interested about any business automation stuff, I'm just starting that up right now, so just shoot me an email, same email as chris@editlab.io, and we'd love to speak with anyone and just hear your stories and see if we can help in any way.
Awesome.
So,
where can they find you if they want to follow your world traveling adventures?
Just Instagram, Life of Nitz, Life of NITZ.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be following you for sure.
I'll follow you back. Just doing some cool stuff.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Chris, Donnelly, we got 2 more minutes with you guys, but... Ready?
I'm ready.
Yes, with that being said, go ahead and subscribe to the Content is Profit podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Follow us on social media at BIZBROS Co.
That's right. And if you find this episode impactful, which I am sure you did, don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review and start your checklist right now.
Bye.